Hi everybody, welcome back to my garden. Today I'm going to walk you through, I like to do a weekly kind of walk and talk, showing you what's going well, what's not going so well. I just kind of give it to you like it is. I don't try to cover stuff up. We have had a lot of rain lately and some really hot and humid temperatures, and some of the things have really liked that and some of the things have not. And I hate to always come back to this, but we have had a lot of rabbit pressure this year. We have a lot of babies running around and they just have destroyed a lot of things. Things that I didn't even know they would destroy. So between the rabbit pressure, the bunny pressure, and the drought that we had for the first 2 months, things, are not maybe looking their absolute best, but that's okay. My garden is fairly new. We just really started establishing anything in 2020, and that was just basically like outlining some beds more towards the front of the house and gradually working our way back, and having our patio installed in, I believe that was 2021. So things are fairly new. So plants are not super big yet. The gardens haven't filled out completely yet. I still have a lot of visions that I want to try to make happen, and that's just part of the process. That's part of the fun of it. It's never really done. I can just continue to be creative and add things here and there. So you'll see that some of the stuff is not very big yet, but some things are looking really pretty and growing and blooming. Some things have been eaten off some of the blooms, but let's just walk through and I will show you what's going on this week, what has changed since last week. And yeah, just follow me along. I always like to start over here. It's one of my favorite areas of our yard. I just think it's so pretty. And you can see that there has been a little more color added since last week. Some of the black-eyed Susans have started blooming, and I have a few little nasturtiums flowering, and some of the daisy and coneflower. So let's take a closer look. I will start you over here to the right and work my way then to the left. These are the debrung boxwoods that we put in this past spring to kind of give a little bit of structure and evergreen interest to this kind of bare, empty side of the fence. And just past these, I put a cloche back on my dahlia. This is, I think, the David Howard dahlia. The bunnies were going to town on that, so I'm trying to protect it. And my limelight prime is coming into bloom. So pretty. We have a Rose of Sharon hedge in the back of this bed. They are purple pillar Rose of Sharon. They have grown so big since we put them in. They must be, gosh, like 7 or 8 feet tall by now. They are not yet in bloom, but probably more towards the end of July they'll come into bloom with pretty purple flowers. I seeded some more zinnia. I showed that in my last video. I'm hoping that this little patch can fill in. That's a peony plant right back in there. I'm trying to restore some of what the rabbits have taken. My strawberries are still not looking the greatest. That's the Buried Treasure variety by Proven Winners. I may try a different variety next year. This is my herb pot. Purple sage, thyme. Purple basil, sage, thyme. I have a little rosemary in there. I did have a dill, but the bunnies took that. Might have to get another one to replace the one I lost. You can see my black-eyed Susans are coming into bloom. That makes me happy. one little tiny, or two little tiny daisy flowers. I have some, this is my nasturtium that's blooming. It's not looking the greatest. I wasn't sure how the nasturtium would do in our heat, and you know, some of the leaves are looking a little tattered, but the flowers are pretty. And that's my only patch that's flowering right now. And these are all powwow pink coneflower in here. My elephant ear is a, I'll show you the tag, Royal Hawaiian Aloha. I really love the dark purple foliage in here. I think it adds a nice just interest with the deep dark kind of purpley red foliage. I think that's really pretty. I did cut back my this is the cat's pajamas Nepeta, hoping that that will begin to put on some more buds. I repeated the cat's pajama Nepeta right there, and that was my purple iris. I love, even when it's not in bloom, just how that foliage looks. That kind of bluish green and the structure that it adds right here. Next to, this is the little lime hydrangea that's also starting to bloom. I underplanted that with the Mystic Illusion Dahlia. Have a few blooms on there. I think I need to fertilize, feed my dahlias because they are not blooming as prolifically as they were. And under that, I had planted the Helen Bonstein lambs here, which the bunnies also enjoy. You can see. And I've repeated this pattern of iris and let's see, coneflower, black-eyed Susans, daisy. This daisy is so small it's not blooming. And another Royal Hawaiian elephant ear. That this one is not as big as the other one, but it's looking good. Coneflower, black-eyed Susans. I just love black-eyed Susans. Eventually I'd like to try different varieties, maybe some of the like Denver daisies, just something with like a bigger flower on it that really stands out in this bed. But for now, these will do. These were all starts from my mom actually, and they spread so prolifically that they've filled in no time. My stargazer lily looks like it might be blooming any day now. This is another patch of zinnia. This is looking better than the other. I also went in and added a few more seeds. You can see some of the little seedlings coming up right there. This dahlia, it's not, I really need to feed this. It's not looking the greatest for some reason. And again, the bunnies ate at it. I think this is the HS date. The HS date and the David Howard have very similar foliage, but I'm gonna have to go ahead and give that some feeding today. And these are my wee white hydrangeas that I did go ahead and cut back because the flowers were looking so brown and crispy. I had gotten these earlier in the season and they were already flowering from the nursery. So I think that the flowers just kind of browned up extra early since they were already blooming when I planted them, maybe. I don't know. And this is my Twombly's Red Sentinel Japanese Maple. It's also doing really well. So things are looking pretty good over here, aside from some of the bunny damage and plants looking a little small, but I'm just really loving how it's starting to pop. This is the time of year where this border tends to pop, and I've said before I'd like to add, you know, a little more interest that kind of spreads throughout all of the seasons a little bit better. But in time, I think that will happen. All right, I'll show you what's going on this other side here. I just think this view is so pretty when I'm standing against the wall looking out over this salvia and just back onto the long border over there. I think it's such a pretty view. I have this area lined in winter gem boxwood. My plan is to let it grow maybe two by two and keep it trimmed into one long hedge. I really love the cottage garden feel, which you can really see over here. But I also really like structure in the garden as well. So like the green giants back there, and adding in this boxwood hedge and the derunk boxwoods I showed you on the other side just kind of provides some nice structure and tidiness, I guess, in my gardens that I really like. So I like how this side is a little more unruly, and then just this hedge provides that nice, like, kind of peaceful rest for your eye, I guess. Looking back into the bed, these are, I have some baby cucumbers growing up that are getting a little bit bigger slowly but surely. The other two back there are struggling. I think it's really just a sun issue. This one's doing good. My tomato plant is struggling, not really flowering too much or putting off. I think this is the only tomato so far. I did feed that the other day. I have kind of neglected it. And these are the Mystic Spires salvia, which I was hoping would be a little bit bigger by now. And the bunnies have been eating the flowers, which I thought that bunnies didn't like salvia. But I think we have so many baby bunnies and they will eat just about anything. And if you watched any of my other videos, you probably saw my coneflower in bloom. Now you can see what they did to that. That is, yeah, done for. That was a summer song firefinch coneflower. I've been struggling to grow a patch of zinnias right here. This is the Lilliput variety, and it's not been taking off super well, and the bunnies, you know, have been eating that as well. There's a tiny, tiny little flower. Oh my goodness, that's so small. I did go ahead a couple of days ago and put some hollyhock seed back in here. I'm just trying to think of things I can do on this big open wall. It's too stark for my liking, and I had been trying to grow the sunflowers back here for like a sunflower hedge, which the animals have taken all of my seed, which I've talked about many times. So I thought maybe some hollyhocks back here would look good. some, you know, other tall plants. I eventually would really like to do maybe some trellises with some clematis, or, you know, something up along this wall that softens it. I've got some Venere's giant zinnias that have been nibbled on quite a bit, you can see. And I did have a hyacinth bean vine growing back in there. Those are some sweet peas. They ate those off to the ground. This one is, they've also eaten at this one, but at least it's growing taller. So hopefully that'll give me some good interest on this obelisk. You can see more zinnia back in here. I had another hyacinth bean vine that they've also kind of eaten at, but not completely yet. My jalapeno looks like it's getting a lot of buds, still not much fruit. And this is my only sunflower that made it, the Pro Cut Gold Light. I have more salvia, the Mystic Spires blue salvia. These definitely get more sun, so they're a little bit bigger than the others. More Lilliput zinnia. I'm trying to protect some of them with the wire cloches. And yeah, this is my other summer song firefinch coneflower that's been completely eaten off. You can see the remnants back in there. This is my Melina Fleur Dahlia that is super tall and sturdy. I'm so excited to see that bloom. Next to the Limetta hydrangea that is still going strong and looking beautiful. I'm really happy with how these sun patients are doing. This is the vigorous variety. They are looking really pretty. Another Limetta hydrangea. Next to my denim and lace Russian sage, which is so beautiful. Just really stands out. Every time I come off of the deck and look out, I just see it against the garden. It just, oh, it looks so pretty. All right, and that's what's going on over here. I'm gonna take you over to the back side, kind of my shadier side, and see what's going on over there. Walking you down past our green giant hedge. These are green giant arborvitae. And I'm just so happy with my like carpet river of impatiens down here. They have filled in so beautifully. Kind of feel like I'm cheating with color because I just plopped 2 trays of the impatiens. So inexpensive, but so pretty. Until I can fill this area out with more perennials. They just really fill in some of the empty spaces beautifully. I have a pink clematis growing right there. It's the first year I've had that in the ground, so maybe next year I'll get some pretty flowers. I'll show you what the bunnies have been doing to my Annabelle hydrangeas, which are gorgeous. But they have been just chewing off all of the bottom like leaves and foliage, just really going to town on those. Leaving some bare, you know, branches down there on the bottom. I love how they just kind of spill over these impatiens. So pretty. This is my Japanese forest grass that I have protected from the bunnies. I just stuck those in the ground this year, hoping that they grow big so I can begin to split them and move them around throughout the gardens. I also have a pink mink right here, which was beginning to grow pretty tall, but the bunnies, you can see it laying on the ground back there, topped that off last night. These obelisks my husband and I built last year, I think, last winter. I would eventually like to paint these white, so that might be a project for the fall. Coming down, this is my blue mouse ears hosta I put in a month or so ago, and this Bernera a couple of days ago I noticed I think is bit the dust. This happened to me last year also with a Bernera, and I don't know why. It just like it was doing great, and then all of a sudden I come out and it's dead, so I'm not sure. I have some columbine, which this one, I don't know, this one is reblooming. Excuse me. I don't know, I've never really seen that before this late in the season when it's this hot. So that's pretty cool. This is my shadier area where I have my hostas and my ferns, my wildberry heuchera, all underneath this autumn brilliant serviceberry. Take you back in here. This is a Casablanca lily, which, what is this? Oh yeah, they did that last night. Ate that right off. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's so frustrating. I've been spraying, but they just don't seem to care. But I love this little shady corner that I have in the yard. Hoping that I can just really begin to fill this space out with perennials and just kind of using the annuals sparingly just to provide some pops of color. And it's just a really nice space to come down and enjoy on a really hot summer day. I'll walk you over to this other side area over here and see what's going on over there. I'm going to walk you through our other side gate past our incredible hydrangeas put in last year. And you can see the hollyhock. I had to go in and stake that up a couple days ago. It just kind of was flattened by the rains. It is so tall. It must be 10 feet tall. So I added some wooden stakes to it, and I realized after I did that I probably could have just kind of wrapped a string around it and tied it to the fence. So I'll have to keep that in mind for next year. I did sow some more seed in this bed. I have these viburnum. They're the sweet talker viburnum in here. I have 3 of them, and eventually I'm hoping that they will kind of provide a kind of wall of privacy along this portion of the fence. They get around 10 feet tall, 3 to 5 feet wide, so they would be perfect for right in here. But until they fill out, I think that it would be pretty to have some of these hollyhocks along the fence. And then I can just, take them out when I don't want them anymore. I had also planted this river of ageratum. The bees love this, and it just adds that nice color along here. And over here is where we have our dragon lady hollies. These provide really good privacy for the hot tub and the patio area. And eventually in this bed, I would like to, just work at filling it out with different perennials, having it kind of be a mixed, like a mixed bed with just lots of different things. But until I can make that happen, I just have spread some zinnia seed. I have some of this Becky rudbeckia that you can see has been destroyed by the bunnies, as well as a lot of the zinnia has just been nibbled on and eaten off. And yeah, but I'm still gonna get some blooms, some pretty blooms from it. Maybe not exactly what I envisioned, but that is okay. We'll just deal with it. Okay, that is all that I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for walking with me through my gardens, for watching my videos, for commenting. I really, really appreciate all of it. I hope you guys are able to get into your gardens today and that you all have a fantastic day, and I will see you next time. Bye.